So Audrey asked, what do you dislike about Tulane? Well, So hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Alex. I'm a sophomore at Tulane University. So in some of my last videos, I asked you to comment any questions below, and over the last 5 months, I've received quite a few comments, and I decided to compile them all into one video. And yeah, if you have any additional questions about Tulane University, comment them down below again, and I'll try putting out another video before May 1st. So yeah, let's get to it. Oh yeah, also, my background's been pretty boring since I got home, so I'm gonna try putting in a green screen right now. So my first question is from Rohan. 2 months ago, he said, "Hi, I was recently accepted into Tulane, so I've been watching your videos. Love them, by the way. Thank you. I was wondering whether green bomb was available as an option for freshman housing. Are there any limitations? Non-first year only, honors, SLC?" I think he meant RLC. So yeah, green bomb is not available to first years. So I actually asked Residence Life and Housing to do a video on all the freshman dorms, and unfortunately they did not approve. I guess I could have just gotten it recorded, but I didn't want to get in trouble. So to answer this question, green bomb is not available to freshman housing. We do have other freshman dorms though. There's Monroe, Sharp, Patterson, Warren, Butler, Josephine Louise, which is only offered to girls, and Wall. I think there's one more, but I can't think of them on the top of my head right now. Yeah, so those are all 7 of those ones I just listed are first year only housing, except for Warren and Patterson, they can't have second years. The Honors Residential Learning Community is in the Wall Residence Hall, and for the other residential learning communities, RLCs for short, which you can apply into. Those are placed into specific dorms based on the RLC, and you can look up on the housing website, which I'll link right here below to get more information. But essentially, you're not able to choose which dorm you're placed into, but what you can do is you can apply into an RLC, which is specific to the dorm, and then that's how you can be placed into the dorm. So I would do your research. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make any videos on this, but look up the dorms. Some are better than others. Just look at the housing website and hopefully you can find more information. To add on to that, you can choose your roommate before you come to Tulane through their specific portal. But yeah, if you choose not to select a specific roommate, then what you can do is you can randomize, which is always a good option. And yeah, be sure to contact your future roommate through Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and try to get to know them before meeting them in person. So the next question is from Camille, and she asked, "Do you think it's a good choice for pre-med students?" Yeah, I mentioned this in my previous video. I think Tulane's a great choice for pre-med students. Yeah, compared to the national average, we have 58% accepted into medical school, whereas the national average is only 41%. And on top of that, we have a great School of Science and Engineering with a lot of pre-med classes that help prep you for both the MCAT as well as medical school. And yeah, we also have other programs such as the Creative Pre-Medical Scholars Program, the Tulane Auxiliary Physicians Training Program, and the Tulane Pathways to Medicine Program. So those are 3 programs where you can be admitted directly into Tulane School of Medicine, which is a cool opportunity. This one's from Sky, and she asked, "I'll be a freshman this year. Do you have any suggestions for the business school and scholarship? Thanks." So by the time, depending on when you watch this video, scholarships may have passed. Tulane does offer 4 scholarships: the Stamps, the Community Service Fellows, Paul Tulane, and the Dean's Honors Scholarships, which I've mentioned in this video right here, which you can take a look at. And yeah, hopefully you can find more information on how to pay for Tulane's estimated cost of attendance, because it does get pretty expensive. As for the business school, I'm in the School of Science and Engineering, so I'm not super familiar with the business school, but they have awesome facilities, probably the best facilities on campus, and yeah, check it out. So Aiden asked, "I just saw this. I'm so glad I finally found someone who received a community service scholarship. I just did too. What are the benefits of being a community service fellow and what do you do? Well, first off, congrats Aiden on being a community service fellow. So the community service fellowship is basically a cohort of around 25 to 30 students who receive scholarship money for demonstrating outstanding service during high school. So as a community service fellow, we meet once a month and we discuss some social justice leadership. We try building camaraderie within our cohort, and we also do our Tulane Days of Service for Outreach Tulane and Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So yeah, the program is evolving right now. You are required to complete at least 100 hours of service, which isn't bad at all because there's so many service opportunities offered at Tulane. And yeah, we have our Center for Public Service, which can connect you with other organizations in New Orleans and yeah, other resources. So Sam Horwood asked, did you crash your drone on campus today? That was 3 weeks ago. Yes, I did crash my drone on campus. I was trying to film some cool videos with my friend Tony where we were skateboarding and I was trying to skateboard and fly the drone, and since the drone was pointed at us, I was flying backwards and I crashed into a building. Imani asked, did it just shut down for the third time because of coronavirus? Yes, so Tulane has been shut down now 3 times in its history. So the first time was during the Civil War from 1861 to 1865. The second time was in 2005 for Hurricane Katrina. And we are now on the third time due to the coronavirus pandemic. Aiden also asked, thank you Aiden for asking all these questions. Do you think Tulane will be open in the fall? It's not my decision to make, but I do expect Tulane to be open in the fall. Hopefully COVID-19 gets situated, as I'm looking forward to studying abroad. So I really hope it gets figured out. So Audrey asked, what do you dislike about Tulane? Well, yeah, you've probably seen my video why you should choose Tulane, and it's pretty much highlighted all the amazing things and amazing reasons why you should choose Tulane. With that being said, I did mention at the end of the video that Tulane has a lot of things to work on, and one of those things is diversity. So Tulane is 70% white, 10% black, and only 3% Asian. And as a student of Asian background, it would be nice to see other Asians on campus. Unfortunately, the diversity of Tulane is lacking severely, but Tulane does admit this, which is great, and they also have these cool organizations where they fly in students of color for free through Preview TU and Bienven TU, I think that's what it's called. And yeah, my brother actually came down for both, and he said that it was just a great experience. So hopefully those programs do increase the amount of diversity. Tulane's classes are getting more and more diverse every year, which is great to see, but there's still a long way to go. So yeah, if I had to answer what I dislike about Tulane, it is the diversity. But also with that being said, I've joined multicultural organizations such as the Asian American Student Union and the Tulane University Vietnamese Association, and I've just had an amazing time with them, and a lot of support, which is great. So I've also been to some of the Indian Association events, some of the big ones, and yeah, it's just a great variety of multicultural support. So that's from speaking from my experience. MEP13 commented, I am still in high school and want to go to Tulane. How do you suggest I stand out in the next couple of years? I kind of responded by saying, just keep doing what you're doing, get good grades, study for the ACT, do the best you can. With that being said, also pursue things that you love. Yeah, oftentimes college admissions can read through a lot of the applications. So pursue something that you love and put a lot of time into it. But don't reach out a lot and choose a lot of activities. Rather, just choose 1 or 2 specific ones, pursue leadership positions in those areas, and yeah. As long as you're having a good time, study hard, get those good grades, you'll be fine. Hey, I'm enrolled in the class of 2024, wanting to major in biochemistry on the pre-med track. The TAP TP program seems so cool. Can you explain it more? Well, thanks for asking, Wyatt. Yeah, so TAP-TP stands for the Tulane Accelerated Physicians Training Program, which is a 7-year BS-MD program. So you have to apply by May 15th, and then you go through an interview process. And then, yeah, basically they're looking for why you want to be a doctor, how much promise you show over the course of your undergraduate experience as well as in med school, and and they're also looking for some maturity. Yeah, the program has changed a little bit over the course of the last year. So it now has been changed to 5 semesters. So essentially you have to finish 90 credits in 5 semesters. And yeah, you finish all of your pre-med requirements. It does help if you bring an AP and IB credit because then that can reduce your course load. And yeah, you can come in with some extra credits. You are required to score at least a 5 on the AP biology exam. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, we also have the Tulane Pathways to Medicine program, as well as the Tulane Pre-Medical Scholars program, which are both 8-year programs. For the Pre-Medical Scholars program, you apply after your sophomore year of undergrad, and then yeah, you get admitted into medical school. Mei Lee's son commented, what is it like being an Asian person at Tulane? So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, yeah, there are only 3% Asians at Tulane, which is kind of unfortunate. But like I said, I did receive a lot of support through the Asian American Student Union and the Tulane University Vietnamese Association. I'm not sure how much more in depth I can go, but yeah, it kind of sucks being the only Asian person in the room sometimes. But yeah, Tulane's definitely working on it, and I hope to see more Asians in the future. Rupak commented, hi Alex, why do you feel like Tulane doesn't have soccer ground? So Tulane actually does have Brown Field, which is the field right in front of the Riley Recreation Center. Definitely check out the video right here, but I accidentally left out me playing soccer, but yeah, through my intramural team, just playing pickup football, sometimes I just play pickup soccer there. They do have soccer turf, which is like I said, my favorite place on campus. Jillian asked 4 months ago on one of my first videos, can you do a video on your stats that got you into Tulane? SAT, GPA, etc. So I will do a video in the future of how I got into Tulane. And yeah, so for my ACT, I got a 33. And for my GPA, I had a 4.0 unweighted back in high school. Yeah, but I feel that those stats weren't really what got me my scholarship as well as got me into Tulane, because I know a few of my friends who had higher ACTs and higher GPAs, but they weren't accepted. So I feel the one major component of why I got extra scholarship as well as got admitted was because of my community service. So Tulane is a community service focused school. We're ranked #1, and yeah, I volunteered so much. That was a huge part of my identity in high school, and yeah, definitely volunteer. Andrew Saw, is this an April Fool's prank on my why you should come to Tulane video? No, it's not an April Fool's prank. Arena just asked, hi, how would you say the diversity is at Tulane? I'm from the NYC area and I've never been to the South, so I have no idea what to expect. So I did mention the demographics earlier in this video, but yeah, Tulane is in New Orleans, which is a predominantly African-American city. So we have 60% African-American, 34% white, and a very, I think, a small proportion of Hispanics and Asians as well. So yeah, Tulane does not match the demographics of New Orleans, but like I said, Tulane is working on increasing diversity. Cassidy, 14 hours ago, I think it would be helpful if you made a video about what type of student should not go to Tulane. I feel like people always talk about the right fit for colleges, so I think that would be informative. Great video though. Well, thanks Cassidy for asking. This is I'd say this is a pretty tough question. So I am a strong believer that wherever you go, it will all work out as long as you put in that first effort, and then everything pans out on its own. But it can be a little bit more difficult for some students at Tulane. So I think, what type of, let me think about this. Okay, Cassidy, I'm gonna have to apologize. I am unable to just come up with an idea at the top of my head at the moment, so I have to Google this. So I'm on Unigo's website. about Tulane University of Louisiana, and someone asked the question, what kind of person should not attend this school? So I'm scrolling through, and a lot of these people have some pretty valid points. Yeah, I like Joseph's comment where he said, I think that in order to attend Tulane and be successful, you need to have some discipline. It can get distracting here, and even though some people like to have fun, most people who will succeed here are the ones who can maintain a balance between the fun and academics. Completely agree with this comment. So I did mention in my other videos that Tulane's balance between academic and social life is unparalleled compared to any other college. But that does mean that you need to be able to balance both your academic and social life. There's so many things going on in New Orleans, around campus, and just with your friends, so you do need to have that discipline to balance your academics. I know a lot of students who did get a little bit distracted, and that took a toll on their academic success. Another comment that I liked was Casey's, a very conservative or shy person. This is a very open-minded school and people tend to be willing to try new things. Don't come here if you like being in the crowd. So one piece of advice I have for incoming freshmen or any prospective student is definitely get out of your comfort zone. I will definitely make a video about this in the future, but yeah, Tulane, there are going to be a lot of moments where you're going to be uncomfortable, and that's okay. A lot of times the uncomfortable situations are where you grow the most and have the best time. So you definitely have to come to Tulane being open-minded and be willing to try new things. Otherwise, it can be otherwise you'll definitely miss out on a lot of opportunities. But I feel like that would be the same for any other college you go to. So let's keep reading. So Michael also had a valid point. He said someone who gets homesick, someone who cannot stand partying, drinkers, smokers, someone who enjoys the cold weather and snow. So yeah, a lot of students, the majority of the students come from at least 800 miles away. I think one stat is more students travel farther to attend Tulane than any other university. So homesickness is the #1 issue that freshmen run into at Tulane. So yeah, definitely be careful with that. And yeah, you're definitely gonna be around partying, drinkers and smokers. Oftentimes it can be a little bit uncomfortable. So just a heads up that you may have to adapt and be around those people. So yeah, just a heads up that you may be around some partying drinkers and smokers, which is unfortunate in some circumstances. All right, so hopefully that answered that question. Yeah, if you have any more questions, drop them down below and I'd be happy to answer them. All right, so Aiden, thanks for asking so many questions, but he asked, what student orgs were you in? So my freshman year, I joined this really cool organization called the Freshman Leadership Program through the Undergraduate Student Government. Highly suggest applying to that. They choose about 30 to 40 students every year for a cohort, and basically what you do is you meet once a week and you just build camaraderie with your cohort. You go on a few trips. We went on a swamp trip, which was really cool. I got to hold a baby alligator, and yeah, you just make some really cool friends your freshman year through this program. Highly suggest. There's no other program your freshman year just like this one. Something else I did was Cactus Academy. Cactus stands for Community Action Council for Tulane University students. And Academy, so basically I learned a little bit more about social justice and leadership. Yeah, coming from Nebraska, social justice and leadership was not something that was highlighted during my high school experience. So yeah, that was a very informative activity. Let's see what else. I did a lot of intramurals, intramural soccer, volleyball, ping pong, and dodgeball. That was fun. Highly suggest doing intramurals, just making a team with your dorm and going at it, or maybe just meet some strangers and join the team. That's kind of what I did for my Audacious United team, which is cool. Yeah, I was pretty heavily involved with the undergraduate student government. I was part of the sustainability committee, and I was also a representative for the School of Science and Engineering student government, and I helped organize a few events. What else? Oh yeah, I'm also a tour guide on campus, which takes up a lot of time. So through the Green Wave Ambassadors, I'm a community service fellow, so I volunteered quite a bit. I put a lot of my time into the Audubon Zoo and the Audubon Nature Institute, which was just a great time. And this year, I got super involved with the Asian American Student Union and the Tulane University Vietnamese Associations. and intramurals as well. So I've been pretty involved with campus. I've packed every single minute I had with something to do. There's 300 plus organizations you can join. So just at the activities fair at the beginning of the semester, each semester, definitely go up to the tables. If you see anything that spikes your interest, like rowing club, blockchain, I can't think of anything else on top of my head right now, but just go up to these tables, sign up with your email, and yeah, they'll send you some more information. So one question I got from Prax51506 is, what's your recipe for the protein shake? So I use frozen berries, a banana, some protein powder, and 2 raw eggs. Yeah. One loyal subscriber I have, Mesha Singh. Hopefully that's how you pronounce your name. First of all, how can you get mean comments? Your vibe is so awesome and chill. Thank you. And the question from a prospects student is, I'm considering ED2 and I want to know if the lack of sports makes you feel different from other schools that have a big football presence. So Tulane does have Division I athletics, and yeah, we do have a D1 football team. I unfortunately only went to a few of the football games. I went to mostly the tailgates. No, I honestly don't feel any difference. I guess there may be a slight decrease in school spirit, but yeah, the tailgates is where it's at, and that's where you show your school spirit. I'm not the best person to answer this question. Also, is Tulane a good place for someone who loves late night philosophical conversations or who doesn't drink? So Tulane is a white campus. There's alcohol everywhere. Yeah, you'll meet people of so many different backgrounds, so many different interests. So late night philosophical conversations are definitely a plus. Yeah, I have a few friends who there's some nights my freshman year where we would have philosophical conversations and they got pretty deep, but yeah, those were good times. How did you get oxygen and water into the closed ecosystem? Okay, so my most watched video on YouTube at this moment is actually my IB biology mesocosm video. I took down all my old videos except for that one because it still gets a lot of views. So yeah, watch my A Day in My Life at Tulane University video right here so that we can finally take that video off of the throne. Alright, so that concludes all the questions that I received on YouTube, but I did get a lot of DMs on Instagram. So yeah, I guess I'll answer some of those questions too. One question from Deborah was, do people feel like life at the honors college could be all-consuming regarding the time you have to devote to remain in it? The top 10% of admitted students are automatically admitted into the honors program. I am in the honors program, so I can speak from a little bit of experience. So some benefits of the honors program is you receive access to additional scholarships, free printing if you live in the Wall Residence Hall, and another one is access to faculty and residence. So one cool thing about certain dorms, we have, I think, Greenbaum, Wall, and Weatherhead all have faculty in residence, which are basically professors who live in the dorms with you, and they have special programming. So my professor's name was Dr. Mollix, and she was just super amazing. Dr. Mollix, if you're watching this, thank you so much for an awesome year. So yeah, at these programmings, you can talk with these professors, chat with them, and it kind of removes that barrier of professor to student. It's more like just two friends. It's more like mentor and mentee talking, which is pretty cool. So in order to remain in the honors program, you have to maintain at least a 3.8 GPA. And a lot of times, a lot of students maintain that GPA so that they can live in Weatherhead. And Weatherhead is arguably the nicest sophomore dorm on campus. And yeah, that's one great benefit. Unfortunately, a lot of students do choose to drop out of the honors program after their freshman year and after their sophomore year because they don't see a point, I guess. So one cool thing is you can write an honors thesis, get access to these additional scholarships, and yeah, those things sound interesting to you, then definitely continue maintaining that GPA. I know it can be super difficult for students in the School of Science and Engineering because oftentimes those classes are slightly more difficult, but yeah, I definitely think it's worthwhile because who doesn't want to be in the honors program as well as selected to the dean's list? So definitely just continue to work hard. Yeah, if those things don't interest you, then you can always choose not to be in the honors program, and that's fine too. Another question she asked was, do you feel as though Greek life dominates how people choose to spend their time for socializing, even though it's about 40% on campus, I think? So 50% of girls and 30% of guys are involved in Greek life, and that's a total of 40% on overall. And yeah, we have a lot of Greek organizations. We have professional frats as well as social Greek life, sororities and fraternities. Yeah, for some students, they choose to put a lot of their time into just the Greek life, but also I'd say for the majority, they do have friends outside of Greek life. So rushing is in second semester, so you have the opportunity to build your friend group in the first semester and then choose whether or not you want to rush. So yeah, a lot of students have their best friends both in the fraternities and sororities as well as not. So another question I received was, I want to know what specifically drew you to Tulane, and is there anything you wish you knew before you started as a freshman? That is one of my favorite questions. So what specifically drew me to Tulane? I guess you could just watch my why you should choose Tulane video as well as why I chose Tulane videos. But what I wish I knew before I was a freshman. So one thing that I definitely wish I knew as a freshman, I guess I went in knowing it in the back of my mind but not executing it right away, is definitely getting out of your comfort zone. A lot of people tell you to get out of your comfort zone, but you just gotta get out of your comfort zone. So one specific example that I always like to talk about is when I went to the dining hall. So my freshman year, sometimes I would just go to the dining hall by myself and I'd find someone that I kind of knew, kind of didn't, and I'd just go down and sit down and eat lunch or dinner with them. And oftentimes their friends came, and yeah, that's how I met a lot of people my freshman year. So yeah, some of us are still good friends, and some of them are just relationships that just never worked out. But yeah, definitely just get out of your comfort zone. It's super awkward at first, but another piece of advice that my friend MJ and I talk about is go first. Go first. So a lot of times people don't want to take that first step to get out of their comfort zone, but they want to, but they just don't feel comfortable. So you always take the initiative to go first. Say hi to that one person that you kind of think is cool, you want to be friends with. Just go first and say hi. So that pretty much wraps it up for the Instagram questions. Yeah, some questions were a little bit more specific to certain situations, so I'm not going to list those off. So I didn't receive a lot of questions, but I decided to just look up some questions on Prep Scholar, and it's entitled Good Questions to Ask on a College Tour. So how large are the classes? So the average class size at Tulane is approximately 21 students. With that being said, most of the large lecture classes like general chemistry and intro to biology can be 100 plus students, sometimes upwards to 200 students. But I also like to mention, which I mentioned in my campus tour video, was that I did have a professor who had 300 plus students per semester. And within the first week, she knew my name, which was kind of creepy at first, because I walked into her office hours and she's like, "You're Alex, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" Little did I know she had a photographic memory, which I guess helped her to get to know her students, but that was just a really cool experience in one of my larger classes. Are the classes more lecture-based or discussion-based? So for classes in the School of Science and Engineering, like your science classes, oftentimes they are very heavily lecture-based. And for classes in the School of Liberal Arts, such as your Spanish classes as well as like philosophy classes, those are definitely more discussion-based. How many of the classes are taught by a professor and how many are taught by a teaching assistant? So actually all classes are taught by the professors, which is I guess pretty unique for colleges. The labs are directed by TAs, but yeah, all the classes are taught by professors. We also have these sessions outside of the classes that you can go to, which are taught by SIs, which are supplementary instructors. And yeah, if you're struggling in a class, I highly suggest going to these SI sessions, because oftentimes these SIs work closely with the professors and they have some insider info on what the exams are going to be like. Are the professors accessible outside of class? Yeah, definitely. All the professors are pretty accessible outside of class through office hours. So office hours are basically certain hours in the day that the professor basically keeps their door open. If you have any questions, you can just go and talk to them. You can talk to them about the class, talk about anything. Just one time I went into one of my professor's office hours and we basically talked about NASA and aviation, which was good conversation. How's the Wi-Fi? Yeah, the Wi-Fi at Tulane's pretty fast. It's way faster than my home Wi-Fi, which breaks down and freezes up Zoom University quite a bit. But yeah, it's pretty reliable. The only place that Wi-Fi pretty much doesn't work is when you're walking down McAllister, which is like the main highway through campus. And yeah, that's kind of annoying, but it's pretty fast. So is it easy to change your major? Yeah, it's very easy to change your major. So one cool thing about Tulane is when you're accepted, you're actually accepted into all 5 schools. School of Liberal Arts, Science and Engineering, Business, Public Health, and Architecture. So when you want to change your major, all you have to do is contact your academic advisor. They'll give you a sheet of paper, they'll sign it, and then all you have to do is get it assigned by the department head of the major that you want to change to, and within a day, you can change your major. Can undergraduates work with professors on research? Yes, very easily. Tulane is a research institution, so there's so many research opportunities. Unfortunately, I haven't taken advantage of any yet, but I soon will in the coming years. So how many hours of class do students typically have each week? How much homework outside of class? So you're required to take at least 12 credits per semester in order to be enrolled as a full-time student and maintain your scholarship. I highly suggest 15 to 17 and a half credits your first semester freshman year for 2 reasons. One is because you don't really want to get behind, so you actually want to get slightly ahead, so you want to take slightly more than 15 credits. The second reason is you're not taking too many credits, so you have the opportunity to kind of enjoy your social life and have that ability to kind of figure out how to balance your social and academic life without being overloaded with too many classes. I know a few friends who took 19 credits their freshman year, which is the max, and oftentimes they struggle a little bit because they weren't able to go to as many social events their first semester. Are finals more exam-based or project/essay-based? For my experiences in the School of Science and Engineering, most classes are exam-based, both free response and multiple choice exams. For other classes, such as my School of Liberal Arts classes, those were heavily essay-based. Where are the best places to study on campus? So the business school has a lot of breakout rooms as well as study areas. I personally study on the 4th floor of the library, tucked away in the back, so don't go there because that's my spot. And there's also a lot of study rooms in some of the dorms, but those are the main places that I choose to study. What are the hours of the library? It's actually now open 24 hours. So after the undergraduate student government kind of worked with the library, they were able to keep open the 1st floor for 24 hours. And I think they close a little bit early on Friday nights, but during final exam weeks, the library and additional floors are open for 24 hours. What are the dorms like? Are there lounges, laundry, and kitchens, shared and private restrooms? So yeah, most of the dorms do have lounges. Tulane actually has free laundry, which is cool. All you need are your dryer sheets and your detergent, and you're all set. And a lot of the dorms have kitchens. For Grade Bomb, we actually have kitchens on every single floor, which is pretty cool. So if you ever get sick of the dining food, that's always an option. Shared or private restrooms? So for freshman dorms, the Wall Residence Hall is the only dorm with suite-style bathrooms. So basically, it's like a double or triple with a bathroom shared with another double or triple. So it's 4 to 6 people sharing one bathroom. But for all the other dorms, it is communal style. And yeah, it's I actually worked with communal style my freshman year, and definitely builds character. Where do students tend to hang out on and off campus? So we're in New Orleans, the #1 best college city, so there's so many things to do around the area. But for freshmen, a lot of freshmen decide to spend time at the Boot. So the Boot is basically a bar that is so if you watch any of my other videos, the Boot is actually right outside of my room. So on Wednesdays through Saturdays, I basically got no sleep. It was tough, but yeah, basically it's a place where a lot of freshmen and sophomores go to, listen to music, and spend time with friends and stuff. Here are a few clips from the booth. On Fridays, one cool thing that Tulane does is a lot of students go to the Riverview Butterfly Park. I think it's what it's called, but it's actually called the Fly for short. So on Fridays, students go to the Fly, and that's where I got all these cool drone shots of everyone just chilling, watching the sunset. A lot of students go to the French Quarter, and sometimes you just want to kick back and just hang out, chill with friends in the dorms. So I think I'm gonna just cut the video right here. Yeah, if you enjoyed, drop a like, and definitely comment any questions that you have that I can answer in an upcoming video. And yeah, please consider subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.